All hell breaks loose at White House after Trump busts the Republican traitor behind leaks. Lock him up. It seems that the political world of scandals and backstabbing is getting a whole lot murkier. Even the deepest swamps have never seen such nefarious and horrid creatures as what is being exposed in D.C. Trump's election didn't merely shake things up, but it seems to have lit a fire under any and all who have anything to hide, including some so-called Republicans as well as some that were literally picked by Trump originally to be on his hard-hitting no-hold-bar team. Steve Bannon, a.k.a. The leak, has been exposed for what he really is, and no one saw it coming. Well, Trump may have seen it, hence the firing of the former White House chief strategist. The kicker is that Bannon probably thought Trump was clueless. Trump is never clueless, and his most recent tweets on this particular situation prove that. According to IJR, President Donald Trump issued a blistering statement on Wednesday in response to reports outlining highly critical statements made by former White House chief strategist Steve Bannon. Steve Bannon has nothing to do with me or my presidency. When he was fired, he not only lost his job, he lost his mind, Trump said. However, another interesting detail buried in the statement is the fact that the president identified Bannon as one of the leakers within his administration. Steve pretends to be at war with the media, which he calls the opposition party, yet he spent his time at the White House leaking false information to the media to make himself seem far more important than he was. It is the only thing he does well. Steve was rarely in a one-on-one meeting with me and only pretends to have had influence to fool a few people with no access and no clue, whom he helped write phony books. And there you have it. The President of the United States is officially at war with his former chief strategist. DML reported. Following a day of bad blood, President Trump's lawyers hit Breitbart news chief Steve Bannon with a cease and desist letter Wednesday night and threatened imminent legal action against the former White House strategist. The demand letter is a response to harsh comments that Bannon reportedly made to journalist Michael Wolff about Trump's campaign and leadership. It also comes on the heels of a hard-hitting public statement issued by Trump stating that Bannon had lost his mind. Charles Harder, Trump's attorney, writes in the letter that Bannon violated a non-disclosure agreement signed during the 2016 campaign by disclosing confidential information, speaking to the media about the campaign and disparaging members of the Trump family. Additionally, Harder suggests that Bannon told lies that defamed and slandered Trump. Harder gives 24 hours for Bannon to respond to the letter that he cease publishing defamatory confidential information and immediately begin preserving relevant documents. A standard demand typically made before the commencement of legal action. During his appearance on Breitbart News Tonight late Wednesday, Bannon called Trump a great man. The Washington Examiner recently reported that one of Bannon's biggest financial supporters is now standing and saying no more to the treasonous backstabber. Top Trump donor Rebecca Mercer cut ties with Steve Bannon after the former White House chief strategist reportedly said he would rely on Mercer's financial backing if he ever ran for president. Mercer has been Bannon's primary donor for quite some time, but she is now stating that she will not provide financial support for Bannon's future endeavors, The Washington Post reported on Wednesday. Bannon is now back with Breitbart, but it is anyone's guess how long that will last, with him literally trying to take on our president. The core constituency for Breitbart is what you would call the Trump deplorables. That's the audience. And if they're asked to choose between Steve and Trump, they're going to choose Trump. That's clear, a source familiar with Breitbart's ownership said, according to the Post. After excerpts from a forthcoming book, the White House took drastic steps away from Bannon. Fire and Fury, Inside the Trump White House by Michael Wolff, was published Wednesday and featured unflattering comments from Bannon about Trump's family. Steve Bannon has nothing to do with me or my presidency. When he was fired, he not only lost his job, he lost his mind. Trump said in a statement on Wednesday. Steve was a staffer who worked for me after I had already won the nomination by defeating 17 candidates, often described as the most talented field ever assembled in the Republican Party. Sarah Sanders stood firm against many of the claims made by Bannon in those excerpts, like the suggestion that Donald Trump Jr.'s meeting with a Russian lawyer in June 2016 was treasonous and unpatriotic. Sanders stated that the accusation was ridiculous. She went on to say that Trump and Bannon have not spoken since early December. It may be time for Bannon to shut up and sit down. He has already lost a coveted position in the White House as well as his financial backer. If he isn't smart, the next thing to go will be his job with Breitbart.